It's time to talk about things and stuff. Mainly stuff. I think I'm going to be a
Things
stuff specialist
and
today.
stuff.
I'm ready
Well,
to
that
go.
is exciting. Brad, it is 40K today, which is one of the shows that we do here on The Art of War, where we talk about things that matter to us in the gaming 40K universe. For the last week, it's a variety show, and I get to chat with Mr. Brad here
This
on a regular
guy.
basis. Right.
I,
Looking
I put
fly
a
today, my good sir.
I put a pre-question up in the chat to see
Oh, very
as we
cool.
get more people to come in. I said, "What was your favorite series, sci-fi fantasy series of 2021?"
Yep.
And I'll see. I want to see how many we get back from that. And we'll touch back on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I can't wait. It'll be fun. Um, Julian and Ree already putting up some good notes, but we've got quite a lot to talk about. The,
Oh,
Eldari book looms, and there's been a lot of stuff in terms of that. 40K, well, Warhammer Plus hasn't really put anything out, like in terms of animation. They put out like a couple lore videos, a couple bat reps. We just had the release of Tau this weekend as well. We saw the incredible like stomping rise of Custodes and Tau.
Custodes
Um,
and Tau.
like
It's just
just
funny.
take over
Yeah, it's they
everything.
basically went, hey, I saw that lots of people were taking MSU to score
Yep.
those new missions because the new missions are now the 2022 packet is now in play, and they require you to do lots of actions. And then they went, how about if we just kill all those units that you brought to do all those things? Pew pew
hmm
pew pew pew
And
pew.
therefore you can't score any points, and we will score all of our points. Of course, we compile all the information of things that have been released over the week, mainly to the Warhammer community site. But I wanted to start with something special, Brad. Okay, you ready?
Hit me.
There's another Space Marine character that was previewed today.
I have the miniatures that are the exclusive event miniatures. You want to
I
take a
love
look?
it.
Let's look at them.
It is a guy with a sword.
It
Even
is,
though he's technically not a lieutenant, I want to say he's a lieutenant in training.
I want to know that I want in my heart he's a lieutenant because we've had what 47, I think, lieutenants. I think I'm
Is
correct
he
on that
that
number.
many? Like Primaris lieutenants? That's how many,
I think
or is it
that
captains now?
everybody's just getting the rank of lieutenant now. They just don't know what to do with them anymore.
And you're a lieutenant, and you're a lieutenant. Although they did, in 40K news, not only are they releasing new models, but they've put older models on a rotation of release. The ones that, and this is a lot of the like firstborn characters like Pedro Cantor and Lysander and a couple of the chaplains and whatnot, which I feel is a move in the step of eventually you're just not going to be able to use these at all.
Possibly on that. I
It's
could,
just sad.
yeah. I like to be able to use all my toys. I
Yep.
will be
They're
talking
probably going to go to
at,
Legends at some point.
in Meta Monday. I'm actually going to be breaking down, looking at a little bit closer all the tile lists that did well at Beachhead. So
hmm
I didn't want to spoil
hmm
it.
Yeah, of course. We're not going to spoil Meta Monday. Of course, if you're in the War Room, that's where Meta Monday happens every Monday, where we talk about the meta directly and what happens in the meta. However, Spaceman characters. What
Space
else do
Marine,
we have?
we got a goblin, bro. I mean, I guess he's
Ooh,
actually an orc, but let's be honest, he's a
well,
goblin. He's
I,
old and broken, as am I. So I identify with this guy.
oh, you do you?
He's a
you,
Sigmar guy.
you just need to act. Well, actually, you do act like a goblin a lot of the times. So I think,
Give me my chainsaw and let me go on the Blood Bowl arena.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he is
And
officially. We did say he was another lieutenant, but he is a Primaris company champion. Thank you.
Elf, company champion, lieutenant in training. Okay, doesn't that's there's no such thing as a company champion. It's rotation, as in the island, says Jonathan Palermo, and went to Stonehammer. Tau into Custodes is rough. But for whom? Tau or Custodes?
I actually think that I could play it into Custodes fairly easily on that. Depends on the mission because you have so much more
Hmm.
stuff than they do.
You have to be very creative and aggro. As in Tau playing against Custodians, you have to be creative with the Tau. Fair enough. There's lots of different things that we're noticing right now, but the new mission's coming in like hot in terms of like the way and Drukhari's fall off of the face of the earth, which I am really excited about. Just saying.
Because you're going back into the lesser known, you could be incognito against Gary.
Yes, I can, and I feel like it'll now is like going to be a sweet spot where there's still some really cool tools. However, it's not like everywhere and like just silly OP. So I'm excited.
I do think
Good
that
time.
this is a Weird Boy proxy for sure. This dude's showing up in orcs. If I bring a Weird Boy,
Absolutely.
I would bring this guy in a heart
If
second.
there's anything you know about this show is that every model that we see is not meant to be what it is designed.
Exactly. 100%.
Case in
And
point, every Kane Blood Bride model. Daughter's a Kane model. There you go. It's just another succubus.
indeed, Drukhari is going back to indie rock status.
That's right.
You can get these new minis. They will be at Adepticon in Chicago.
Ooh, nice.
Specifically Schaumburg, Illinois.
Now, what do you think about the whole, like we talked about this a little bit last week, but in 40K today, I feel like ITC mixing with Games Workshop is going to lead to some really cool things.
Yes. I think that we're going to get more of a standardized play, which always makes me happier because I love making new lists. I love the idea of trying to, try to work the meta and make a list, to pilot that. But I don't like the fact that going to different tournaments means I have different FAQs and rule sets. You can have different terrain and stuff like that, but the rules should stay the same. I'm very big on not having different interactions based on where I go to a tournament. I'm not a huge fan of that.
But I mean, in what, like, I thought the rules had been pretty similar and straightforward, other than the terrain.
The terrain has been different in it was especially bigger last year because from GW to FLG to Studs and Snotlings, everyone was using different rules.
Snotlings. Yes, the start of Snotling. That is true. I guess I guess that's the main difference. Do you think it's going to standardize mainly the terrain stuff?
I think that the thing is you don't need the same terrain sets for me. What I need is that how I interact with the terrain. For instance,
so like this is an obstacle, this is area terrain.
Right.
This
is WTC,
okay.
For instance, I can auto make that. If I can get to the wall, I count as being in. If I go to a GW event, I don't. You know what I mean? I have to go all the way around. So it's a big deal in how you interact and how you play in those setups. So it's a much different, especially if you play significantly more of one style than the other. It becomes a big deal when you go to the others. You know what I mean? You're rustier. You don't have your game on. So it's weird. It's like you're basically playing tennis, and sometimes you're playing on clay, and sometimes you're playing on grass, and then you're playing on hardcourt. It plays a different way. Same game, but different. So I just want the same rules. I always want us to be playing on the same surface. How about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. So all the mats have to be the same. Totally understand.
So, let's see what it said.
So in terms of things that happened this week, there was an article early last week about a breakdown of the meta and the meta watch that happened from the LVO and how Siegler just crushed everybody with.
I'm not talking about that one because they threw Brad under the bus.
Did they really throw you under the bus? Oh my goodness! Let me find your name here.
I'm at the very top of the
Are you
article.
really?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Let's
Like, see.
Some chumps switched their faction and got wrecked.
You know what? Now I get to give you and John and Nick.
I did not do that to test the meta, though. I did it specifically because Brad was dying.
That's true. You didn't want to move a lot of models. We talked about this before you went. Yeah, it was either going to be a win big. Yeah, no, I totally understand. Mm-hmm.
I actually agree with this, guys, in chat. I think that Tau is the advantage, but that was not the case over the weekend. But I also think it does depend on the mission quite a bit, because I think that it also depends on what kind of Tau list you're taking. Because if you're taking a Tau list with a lot of junk and a lot of OBSEC, you can actually just perform a huge amount of actions, basically. So you can do things like continually planting explosives and things of that nature and just be everywhere where they're not. And they have a hard time, once you kill their prosecutors and stuff, of stopping that kind of stuff because you can just be all over the board. So I think it is not just a Tau Custodes thing. I think it's a specific Tau builds compared to Custodes thing. And it also
I feel like
mission.
I feel like there's a lot more internal balance in the Tau book than there is in the Custodes book. Just from what I've seen, there seems to be a lot more combinations in the Tau book than the Custodes book.
There's a lot of different Tau builds, like 100%.
Yeah, which I like. Can I access the Meta Monday video by becoming a YouTube member? Says the Suave Lion. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
That'd be something we'll get back to.
We have to get back to that. We're feeble people that make fun things. We don't know any real things.
We sit here, look into a camera, and yap.
What do you think about the Daughters of Cain and where are we going? It's all the Warcry stuff, all the AOS stuff that came out pre-order over the weekend. I think
so. The scrumptious snacks for a hungry god, one of Warcry's new branching.
Look at this Daughters of Cain stuff. Literally just says, "Would you like to be a Court of the Archon?" And I said they do.
You know what? That would work too. Is that the pre-orders? Oh, the Warcry skirmish pre-orders. Okay, here we go. Well, first and foremost, we've got Stormcasts. Who cares about those? We have crazy high elf cow hats. And the Daughters of Cain. Oh yes, snake. The snake ladies. They're good. I like them.
And they look cool. You know what I mean? When you're firing your poison weapon, they also have bows. You know what I mean? The Cyberets look like they could be anything. This is a lot of cool. I just think that the AOS stuff looks just so good as 40K models. So
they also re-released for limited time the classic ethereal models. Well, that's pretty...
I do agree over. I think that if Emperor's Champions is less of an auto-take, you would probably see a little bit different in Custodes, but they don't have that many data sheets. That is one of the biggest things still. Any army, Grey Knights, for instance, you know what I mean? When you find the builds, the builds are going to be fairly around the same type of thing when you don't have that many options.
Right.
Men of Culture, thank you.
I think he might be speaking about you specifically because I have no culture. Daughters of Cain are amazing, says Suave Lion. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man.
And Warcry, says Matt, is by far Games Workshop best casual skirmish game. Such a blast to play when you are not in a mega comp mood. I've heard the Kill Team stuff is pretty good. The new version of Kill Team is quite straightforward and fun. I haven't played the new Kill Team yet.
It's fast too, Sky. It's fast.
Yeah. I need to get into it.
By the way, check out these Tau models because I'm not going to lie, Marine players, if you did a head swap, this guy would make an awesome preacher.
Yeah. You just have to... all these old Tau models are look at this guy. He's got, maracas? You know what that looks like? The second one down from the top?
Yeah.
He looks like... You know
He's dancing, baby.
He's got the Johnsons, but you know that thing you could buy on the television ad was the weight thing that you shake a weight or whatever? What is it called?
Shake weight.
The shake weight. It looks like he's literally holding...
He's got to get in trouble. Look at those guns he's sporting, bro. He's got to get in shape, man. He's lost some serious weight. He's trying to get fit for the new invasion season.
Heck yeah. That's right. That's what you need. That's definitely a humble stuff, right? Huh?
I do like this guy that's just pointing to the sky. I don't really know what he's doing with his pose, but
silliest miniature ever that just breaks instantly. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Anybody that's pointing out. By the way, all of your models that point straight up bother the crap out of me. You're like, put your damn arm down. I'm trying to hide behind this barricade. You're ruining
also, what
everything.
What is he looking at? He's not even looking at the stuff. He's just looking up at the sky. He's randomly looking at the sky. At least the guy with the big, the blade looks like he knows what he's doing.
He's literally hitting Warrior 1. Let's be honest.
I want to say
he's doing some yoga.
He is. He's fish pose or whatever it is. Because they're fish people. Then we have. You know what I like? You know what I like about these is that the paint schemes aren't crazy, especially that last one.
Hey, you can
Like I
easily do
feel
it.
like I could, if I feel like I could
I
paint
mean,
that.
I probably couldn't, but other people did. You know what I'm super psyched about? This terrain for Necromunda. I want to see the size of it, but man, I think this is fantastic for 40K. Like these
Yeah,
are
they're all
really,
very. They're very. Ooh, I like the door sets. That's literally like Zone Mortalis boards made into plastic. That's what that is.
yeah. I mean, it looks super
Yeah.
badass. I mean, the Middle Earth stuff is Middle Earth. Eh, sorry, I'm scrolling too
Well,
fast
it's
for everybody.
neither at the top or at the bottom.
Yeah, it's there.
In the middle somewhere.
Let's look at this Necromunda terrain again. You know what? I was gonna wait just a little bit before I got super excited, but wait a minute. Let's talk about Path of the Preview.
Yes, Malgun Ra, the
What?
embodiment of death,
Well, I was
with
gonna
new
bring
cool
these. I was
rules.
bringing up these Guardians, baby.
Ah,
Guardians.
you didn't want to do Malgun Ra? He was like early in the week. Okay,
Whoa, whoa,
the
whoa,
Guardian.
whoa, whoa, whoa! He's later. You don't
Sneak.
start with Magun Ra.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Well, he is. He is, I guess, the ending of most of the crossroads
Exactly.
that he runs into.
He's that dessert you have to order at the beginning of the meal.
That's right.
These
That's
are
true.
the meat and potatoes of a craft world.
Mm.
And they've got significantly better. Let's talk about them. So,
Okay.
still one wound. They got a better save.
Yep.
They got a way better gun.
Yep.
2 shots and plus 6
18-inch.
18-inch. Also with a
AP1.
built-in AP1, and it's a shuriken weapon. So if you looked at that, they actually still get
Yep.
the extra to it.
Yep.
And this right here, by the way, is a huge deal. There's a bunch of other stuff that are going to make them way better, but like this, if they had nothing else, this would still make them so much better.
Combined with battle focus, this is going to be annoying
Yes.
to deal with.
Also, this picture's boss mode, but we'll scroll down with that. The Serpent Shield. Oh, this is so good for the old Guardians. The entire unit has a 5-up invuln, and
Yep.
they have baby transhuman.
Yep.
That's huge when you're a T3 model.
Very, very big. I played against a Genius of the Cult neophyte heavy list that took the custom trait of like mini transhuman, and
it's
it
so
came up
irritating.
a lot. And there was 180 neophytes. Like it came up a lot.
Yeah. That's why I'm a big Twisted Helix fan. Because not only do they get that, but they also get +1 move and +1 strength. They've been working out. Poor Marine bolters.
Using the shake weights.
Yeah. Shake weight. This is a big
Hey,
deal,
well,
man.
Marine bolters get bolter drill, so they actually get a better AP.
This
per
is
turn.
true.
Oh, one turn.
2 turns.
Oh yeah, you
So
can tactical.
you can tactical
You
for
are
2
correct.
turns.
You are correct.
But the Serpent Shield means a big deal. And
The
they
5-up invul skill means you also probably don't need to use that stratagem. What was it? It used to be a strat. You spend and they get a 4-up invul.
Yeah.
Right? But just having it built in,
it's huge.
they have a 4-up. It means that, like, against most things, a 5-up invul is a big deal.
Well, just taking 33% of the wounds away is a big deal. Plus the fact that, again, you're wounding 17% less also. You know what I mean? So it's just a big deal.
Yeah.
So I like these abilities, though, a lot, to tell you the truth. Now, we'll go to the stratagem in just a minute, but, like, the fact that you're just re-rolling ones if you're near an objective, it's awesome. You know what I mean? And then they both have... The Stormblades, of course, do the melee attacks, which, to be honest, Stormblades, I'm going to be taking Defenders and using Aspect Warriors to punch people. But who knows?
More
Maybe I will.
likely.
Yeah. Well, one, they just look cooler. Let's be honest. Sorry. When I want to get into melee, I want to do it with somebody hitting an action movie pose. Superhero landing. That's what I want.
So you still have the Discipline of the Black Guardians, which is like that's an age-old stratagem. Before you used to buy it and make the units just have like extra ballistic skill, and then one unit could have extra weapon skill. This is just good. It's just +1 a hit. It's good.
It's a big deal in that.
Yeah.
I mean, +1 a hit's just huge, period. I love it. You know what I mean? It's super, super good. I think that Guardians, well, right now, Guardians, were the worst. Basically, Eldar troops were statistically the worst in the game. And these bonuses right here are a big deal to alleviate that fact. You know what I mean? Before they were just, I mean, look at the Eldar when you were bringing Craft World. there was no rhyme, no reason to bring any kind of troops. So this is a big deal on that. See what I mean? Let's see.
And the new kit too. That comes off of and the new kit. I love the fact that they, at least the two models they posted, seem to have plasma grenades equipped.
Yeah.
Which is not something Cavalite Warriors have. And having that extra strength 4 -1 AP plasma grenade is actually pretty good, especially for the storm.
Or if you're just throwing something, a D3 or a D6, just having more volume of attacks. I agree in chat here. If racks have shown anything, cheap troops with invulns are good. 100%, man. You know what I mean? Right, it's just the thing is anytime you have an invuln, your opponent has to commit more than they want to because they have to account for swings and dice. So if they don't have any save at all, which they don't right now, you can just say, I'm going to kill this unit with this, and it's going to happen 99% of the time. So it's a big deal that you have to get your opponent to basically just commit more resources. It means they kill less of your stuff, which is a fantastic deal. Poor Sisters Walters, Yeah,
well, considering they don't have AP. So continuing with the path of the preview, the second one we got this week was for Corsairs, Yanden, Ural, and Sneaky Hordes.
Let's talk about some Sneaky Hordes. You know why? Because we've got my favorite pirate prince, Prince Uriel of Ianden, who's actually my favorite craft world, even though I'll probably play a lot of Biel-Tan because they have all the aspect warriors. But my first Eldar was all Wraith. I played Walking Wraith Guard back in 2001 and 2002. 2 years, my friend.
Had D weapons? Did they ever have D weapons, legit D weapons? They had them for a while.
Well, that was a little bit farther down. We're talking third edition at that point in time.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't even know what D weapons were at that point in time. So
they were just strong weapons. It was scary.
But I played this. I also played Insane Clown Posse for a tournament when the internet set me on fire because they brought the wrong army for me.
Oh no.
Prince Uriel, when he had his monocle of doom, where he just put a template on you once a game. But this dude...
Oh, I do remember that. He'd stare at you and blow up or something, right?
He literally put a template
the Eye of the Phoenix or whatever it was. blow... Yeah, okay.
And he's also got his cursed spear.
I do like the fact that his Path of Command aura is for Eondin Core and Anthrite units, which I believe are the Corsairs.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's neat.
So I love that he has this. I love that the fact that his model just looks like he's actually doing something a little bit more. All of the things. They were just weapons at that point. Yeah, exactly. But it was my first craft world. So I played Eldar for 22 years now, and this is my first. It was my first, and I'll always remember it. But yeah. But I will probably be playing Biel-Tan, to be honest. Court of the Young King. Court of the Young King, I'm going to give Old Man Brad, I get distracted easily story. Court of the Young King used to be one of my favorites because you take Court of the Young King and then they would infiltrate, and you could put the Avatar as part of that back in the day. So
five each of the Phoenix Lords and the Avatar, right?
Yes. Could infiltrate. So somehow somebody, the worst sentries in the universe, let you sneak up with the guy that's 20 to 30 feet tall and on fire. Bill, come on.
Nobody would notice that, okay? Not even an Ospec, nothing.
How did you not see that? Look,
Sneakiest Avatar in all of the land.
I just love the idea of that when just someone's yelling at him going, seriously, man, how? How did you not spot this?
I know. Maybe they tied and gagged the Avatar with. That's why you need the 5 Phoenix Lords, just to subdue the Avatar and keep him quiet.
It's tough to keep him close quiet, to the enemy. Mainly because again he's on fire.
Space Marine Commander looks at. Is that smoke? Nah, you must be hallucinating.
I love this Prince of Corsairs ability, by the way. It is really cool. The fact that before placing units into strategic reserves, if your army contains this model, you can have the power rating of Iron and Infantry's and the Anthrite, which I can never pronounce correctly, for the purpose of determining the combined power rating of units placed in street. That is so big, dude. What that means is
really good.
If you look at it, especially if you look at power ratings now, obviously they're going to change, but having them means 1 CP, you're probably going to be able to put anywhere between 2 and 4 things in reserve that
For
normally
one
would
CP.
exactly are going to be such a
Mhm.
big deal. Excuse me. This is, while it doesn't look like a huge deal, being able to really control reserves without burning a bunch of CP is a huge deal.
Yeah, like CP is a very very useful resource, and with Eldar having stuff in your back pocket tends to work really well because you tend to have lots of different units to use, like as Drukhari as Eldar. So it's really nice. Even like Yanden specifically, like big Wraith Blade or Wraith Guard units or like, they're usually very power level intensive, but being able to like make it small and then potentially put one of these very hard hitting units just off to the side and it not cost you an arm and a leg, could come in handy.
Oh, 100%. Chat wise, with what we've seen of the Shroud Runners, it's going to determine points, but I really, really like their rules.
Mhm.
Dwarves take an elite spot. That's one of the
We have
things.
no idea.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I know.
They have not
But
released that
I think I can
information.
only do anything that they actually show us.
Yeah, so we don't know.
Uthway is always the jam just because of the fact that it has Eldrad, and, well, Eldrad's a boss.
Yep.
So let's talk about his weapon real quick because it's even better than it used to be. Strength times
The
2.
Spear of
8.
Twilight, which, by the way, is one of the Crone swords for any of you fluff nuts out there. It's one of the 5 weapons that was crafted from the hand of the Crone. The other one being equipped by the Vizark. The
I was
other
just
one
about to say,
by
Vizar's got.
Karn.
They
Yeah,
have, the
and
trio has them.
Ivrain.
Yep.
Yeah, and then this is the 4th one, and then the 5th one is rumored to be Farsight's sword.
I was just about to say,
However,
I don't know where the fifth. I would just say, I didn't know that the 5th one was out there yet. So that's one of my
yeah, it
things.
is out there, or it was hidden by Slanesh in the Garden of Nurgle or something. Like it's one, like I think there's that, but it's highly rumored that it's also Farsight's sword is one of the Crone swords.
With everybody talking about this, with the new rules where we can't use swap, intermingle sub factions, it means that I'm not going to lie, I will probably show up to a tournament with Ian in a tournament, Biltan in a tournament, Uthway in a tournament, just continually swap
Try
because,
everything, right?
yeah, because of the fact that there's going to be super cool stuff. I think it's going to be very, very cool. These new models, by the way, are just so much boss mode than they used to be.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about the spear.
I do want to talk about the spear. AP3, 3 damage. 3 damage is such a sweet spot.
Thunderhammer. Boop.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, it's just boss mode. And I love these. I love the models. It's just a big deal.
I love the fact that it seems like you'll be able to take like an army of just Corsairs. That's exciting to me.
I'm very excited to see the exact rules for combining Harlequins, Pirates, and Craft World together.
Or even Drukhari. Like, look
Yeah.
at that guy. So you look at the little Corsairs. There's like a guy that has like that Farseer or Warlock helmet, which I'm assuming means he's a Psyker of some sort.
Yeah.
Which, if I can put like a rando Psyker in my Drukhari list without breaking, without having taken another detachment, just add him in as a unit. So I could do
huge.
like Psychic Interrogation. You know what I mean? It would be so good to just
Just
unlock.
have the threat of like 2 denies is such a big deal.
Correct. Yeah. Right? Anyway.
Oh, it's
Something interesting.
I'm very pumped about this. Very, very pumped about all of this. And the thing is he looks like a boss, to be honest.
He definitely does. Yeah. But then we have the last of the path of the preview.
I have to switch
For the
over real
week.
quick because I have to grab that again.
Yeah. I believe that's the last of the path of the preview for this week. Oh no, never mind. So because we're leaving Malganra to the end. So the other one is to build your Eldari host around your Phoenix Lord, right? Which is so they kind of like said you can build your list around Phoenix Lord, which is kind of cool.
They also have the Forge World, the big bombas too.
The little tiny Aeronautica Imperialis. Those are what? Void Dragons? Was that what they're called?
Yes, I have to go back. I have to get the last preview that I did.
Phoenix, the Void Phoenix.
I did not have the last one loaded for everyone, so I have to let Mr. Scary You have to chat for me real quick while
For
I
the pause of the
set.
preview or the Forge World stuff?
Oh no, I'm gonna pull up both, but you're supposed to
Okay.
talk for a moment while I pick it up.
I'm supposed to talk. Well,
Come on.
let's go to chat. Hello, chat. How do we work the Corsairs and Guardians into Uthway? We don't know yet. Although, as for Corsairs, who knows? As for Guardians, you just take them. I'm assuming you just take them in Uthway. Luke says, I'm so ready for clowns and craft worlds. You know, Luke, it is no laughing matter. Get it. Eldon Warden, are you ready?
I'm so ready. Sorry.
Excellent.
I literally got so. This is the best part about it. I got so distracted looking at Mog and Ra, I couldn't talk for a moment, everyone. So,
So cool.
let's just go here. I mean, what?
Are we talking about Mog and Ra first?
Yeah, I mean, come
Yes.
on. Come
Yes.
on, man. You know that
Full Mog and Ra.
I can't be distracted and not talk about it. They should have showed something shiny.
He's so cool. He's like that. The glow up on Malgatar is like ridiculous from the old
That's
one.
crazy,
His
dude.
his
Look at his
freaker
model.
Turkey cannon is like, he looks tattered. He looks mean, but he's also very loyal to the old model. But he's got the pose of the new one, and his new scythe gun is so cool.
Look
I
at,
want
look
that
at the Moganator. I know it's the Mogatar, but I don't care. You've been Moganated. That's another thing we had.
Morganator.
Greg Sparks used to play Morgan Ra so much, he had cards made up that when Morgan Ra would kill something important, he would hand them out, and they said, "You've been Moganated."
Oh, that's awesome.
But look
I
at
love
this.
that.
Look at how much they've upped the gun.
6 shots.
6 shots base. Each time an attack is made, this weapon, an unmodified roll of 6, inflicts a mortal wound on the target in addition to the normal damage, and the damage has been doubled to 2. And it is now AP2, and it is
it's
also
strength 7.
strength 7.
Instead of strength 6.
Yes.
And it's shuriken. Is it shuriken?
It is
I would
not.
assume it is.
It doesn't
It's
say
not
that.
shuriken? It's not here, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe.
And then the fact that he has I like this little deal right here. It's no big deal, but like each model that is destroyed by an attack made by this model counts as 2 models of the morale phase. Means you're basically making people test hard if you kill people. You know, you can put tests on people even if you've killed like 2 models. You know what I mean? In a unit, it's a pretty big deal.
Really good into stuff that doesn't tend to worry about leadership, like grotesques, for example. You'd be like, oh, I killed a grotesque that's 2 models, or oh, I killed, 1 crisis suit. Counts as 2 models, whatever it is. Like, leadership is not a mechanic that a lot of people use, but things that can mess with leadership can mess you up if you're not careful.
I do like the Favorite of Cain ability for Aspect Warriors now. The fact that they now have a 4-up invuln and can only lose 3 wounds in a phase, which means you can't just instantly one-shot them like you could before.
Yes. I think the biggest thing here is it seems like Phoenix Lords just get a 4-up invul save.
Right,
like,
straight. They're all
for the longest time, they have never had an invul. They had a good armor, they just never had an invul unless you were Azraman. It was like the only one that got an invul save, and it was the one reason I saw people almost never take Phoenix Lords, because somebody would show up with like a power weapon or something, and they were dead. And that was it.
Well, let's talk about
and your big 200-point model was just dead.
Let's talk about the fact that these new Dark Reapers have all of the different positions that they're shooting from, which is fairly cool. I do want to talk about the fact that these Marines are way too close to this Dark Reaper unit, though. I don't know what happened, but
whoever was playing when this picture was taken, like, did not understand tactics.
Yeah, you ran up a little bit too much. You're like, I thought you should look at the range of that gun.
Or it was just Malgan Ross saying, "Hey, we're all dead anyway.
Let's do it.
Just rush them."
Well, let's talk about building your army around Phoenix Lord.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing here is so Phoenix Lords are legendary. They use the same picture in this article too.
Yep.
Come on, Games Workshop. Take another picture.
I'm going to scroll down just a little bit to get to the newer ones. We just talked about it. Also, come on, man. Like I'm not bringing Jane Czar. In Banshees, you better be good enough for this because, I love that her hair. She basically even brings Dark Eldar big hair to shame because her hair is so big that she basically
biggest hair. It's like
in pointy ears.
Yeah. 100%, and a yelly face. But I will say that the Harvester of Souls, for his Dark Reapers. So Dark Reapers within 6, +2 leadership. Okay, so they're what? Leadership 11. Take that, Custodes, or leadership 10. And they become OPSEC. I wonder if Malganra has the Dark Reaper keyword.
That is a really good question, but
Because if he does, that would be pretty snappy.
this is a huge thing on this, just because of the fact that they can shoot from such a distance, stay OPSEC, so people can't just snake objectives from you. That's a big deal. Also, if you need to, they can do all the actions that are completed in the same turn by OPSEC models.
Yeah, yeah, and especially planting bombs or whatever and things like that. And I'm assuming this will translate to each of the Phoenix Lords. So like, I'm assuming Jane Zar will do this for Banshees. I'm assuming like you'll have it for what's the name of the dude, this Karandras for the Striking
Scorpions.
Yugen for the Fire Dragons. Like, okay, so before only Dire Avengers became like troops, sure, right? Like they're troops or whatever. But like this, okay, I wouldn't mind my Banshees being OPSEC. And attacking the enemy, going into their and doing that.
And that's the way you can actually start stealing objectives from people too. That's a huge deal. That if they become OPSEC with her, because now you're making charges, you're killing off units, you're consolidating in, and now you're stealing an objective as opposed to just being there. Banshee surviving a turn. Hey, but now that's the thing though, is that if they're OPSEC, they don't have to survive the next turn because they've already stolen that objective away.
They've done what they needed to do, which is literally stopping you from scoring for a turn, and now there's only 3 turns left, or 2 turns left, basically.
And look how cool they look. Come on now, come on. You know that you want to see the Jane Zar on the table doing crazy things.
Well, if they gave him some some extra rules like Malganra, I wonder if they'll change like what she does, right? Like, because she's one of the newer models. Like, she got re-released with that Drazar, but after what they did to Drazar, made him an absolute monster. I wouldn't be surprised that Jane Zar like gets a similar treatment of just being like a close combat machine.
And the thing, it feels like they're all going to be buffed, kind of like Drazar treats the Incubator, where he gives him +1 to wound. I think that's a big deal on that.
Although OPSEC is better than +1 to like just from a perspective, I would prefer Drazar to give all my Incubi OPSEC. That would be amazing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though, is because I'm gonna bounce away. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff. I'm gonna kill some stuff, and I'm gonna be somewhere. If only Howling Banshees get a strat like the Pure Strain get, where they can kill something and then go back into reserve. Oh, I want to see the Striking Scorpions bad too, Matt. I've been a Striking Scorpion fan. I love the lore and the fan art and fiction for the original Phoenix Lord and then Karandras and all that. So I'm very interested in Striking Scorpions. They're one of my favorite units. So I hope they're really good, to tell you the truth.
Well, Striking Scorpions are one of those units that I don't think I've seen in almost like 8 years, like on the table. Or like very rarely have I seen 100%. A unit of them.
Well, the only thing is that they were the cheapest thing that could deep strike to take rods and stuff like that, but they weren't used like you thought they were supposed to be used, which is sneaking up, getting into those assaults. You know what I mean? Really doing anything.
Luke, I totally agree with you. Drazar gives Incubi OPSEC in the sense that there are no enemy models left on the objective to hold it. Okay, fair enough. I will grant you that. You just make sure that they just murder everything.
I cannot say, I cannot agree more on the fact that old dragons are terrible. Not only in rules, but the way that they look. It's funny because a friend of mine painted them up beautifully, so I've used them multiple times. But yes.
Well, you can say that the new dragons will be of a different scale.
Ooh. Ah.
But if anything, they redid Banshees, they redid Dark Reapers, they redid Malganra. Like, I can guarantee you that they just have the others ready to release. Like, they must. There's no way that they have not got them.
That's what I was saying. Like, I've got Snigs on standby already. But I'm super psyched for all the new stuff because I want all the new. They look so much better. I mean, come on now. Looking at that Magan Ra, let's be come on. Come on, like you're gonna use your old Magen-Ra if you have the option of bringing the new Magen-Ra. Really?
Hey, to be honest, I like digging old models just because then people go, "Ooh, what's that model?" And you're like, "Oh, child, this is an
True,
this
but
is
when I have
this is an original third edition Dark Eldar Kabalite warrior." And they're like, "Ooh, that's cool."
I have so
You're
many
like,
of these
it,
floating around somewhere. Even this base is amazing. I mean, this is
yeah,
so much better. It's not
it is
even.
better.
It's
Don't
not
get me
even in the
wrong.
same dimension.
There is something about using
Oh,
old, crusty old models that have like 20-year-old paint on them, Brad, at
I,
events.
I have
There's
to.
like some soul in those models. They've
That
seen
is
hell
true. I
come
still
back.
use
Yeah.
my old. I have old. I have again 2000, the year 2000 warriors that I still bring. Old Magen Ra is cool, but he's not this cool. He's not new Magen Ra cool.
Correct.
He definitely went to exhibit and they pimped his ride for sure. And yes, I cannot wait for Karandras. And I don't even know if anybody says that the Incubi are bad now. They have lost their minds, man.
No.
It's crazy
Incubi are
talk.
incredible. Yeah. Like I've only like switched Incubi out for grotesques because of the durability more than the damage output. Like Incubi still go in and murder stuff,
Yeah,
but I like
it's
having
great.
like chunky things that can
I
sometimes
love
survive.
having a Venom with some trophies rolling up, and you're like, oh yeah, this is why Incubi are good because you're
Hmm.
fighting last, and I'm
Hmm.
murdering you.
Yeah, it's really handy. Anyway, there's some. We'll do another clinic at some point. We'll talk about all the new stuff that's coming up.
100%.
That'll be really fun because there's some really neat stuff. There's some good underground. There's some new. There's some Horus Heresy like stuff that came out too. Basically, some missions to play. Some like sneaky Ultramarines missions for
Sneaky.
Horus Heresy. Yeah.
I do like the Horus Heresy models a lot too. For the
Yeah,
Marine.
didn't they release a bunch of these in plastic? Like, isn't there a bunch? Like, all these Marines are
Mhm.
essentially plastic, right? Like the 30K Marines. They do look cool. Like that Crusade armor is so neat looking.
All of the yes. All of the yes, my friend. The what was I saying? I just saw a thing. I actually it's funny, Miles, that you say that because I actually use Death Jesters as my Exarchs for my Dark Reaper squads for the
Oh,
Tempest
nice.
Launchers. I just think they look really
That's
cool.
cool. That is really cool.
This guy's. I have to read this because you're not wrong. Now, old Morgan Ra has a different feel. He looks badass. This guy is too showy. It's like Hollywood star, not the aspect of death. This is Morgan Ra after he's been in his. He was in the Avengers and he's kind of a big deal
Yes,
now.
I'm a big deal. I've got the flowing cape and everything.
He's got an
Do you want?
entourage.
Yeah, it's like the no, you don't have the believers, you have the Malgara levers or whatever. He shows up at the Croftle, everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's Malgara!" Ah.
Now I got to go back to my original question. If you scroll all the way back up in chat, I want to get this before I leave.
I like it.
What was everyone's favorite sci-fi fantasy series of 2021? Had to have come out in 2021. 'Cause
What was yours, Brad?
I think I'm going to go with Arcane.
Hmm.
Because of the fact that
That's
I think
incredible.
well, the thing was is I had zero. It was one of those hidden gems for me because I expected absolutely nothing from it. I just was like, I want something to watch, and then I watched it, and I was like, this is so awesome. And I
Yeah.
had nothing going because a lot of times, even if something is awesome, but I'm so small child geeked up for it, you can never live up to my mental expectations for how amazing whatever series was going to be. So I always have a little bit of a letdown on those. But that one I went in with absolutely nothing. It was just something to pass time in the middle of the night
Hmm.
because I don't sleep, and I loved it, and it was just a great thing for me on that. So I just wonder what everybody else was thinking for the year because
Hmm.
we have the year in review. It's a little late. We're a month and a half late on it, but I just thought about it. I was thinking about it over the weekend. I was nerding it up as usual, you and some playtest games and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. It was just super good. And there's been some really good stuff. I actually had to weed through a lot of the things that I watched this year because there was some really good things that came out.
Yeah, the sci-fi fantasy series. Yeah, I really like Arcane was really good because I don't know anything about the universe. right? Like that sort of like setting at all.
Same.
And it was very enjoyable. Like the story was really appealing, and it was very real in that sense. And the animation, and they didn't like take shortcuts, and it just felt like it was just that the it was very the heart and soul was put into that production. It was really good. I cannot wait for the second one.
I did just start
What's
watching Dota, so I will tell you guys how I feel about that. But I just started it, literally just
what
started.
about some of the answers that we had? Invincible. That
Invincible,
was
the
messed up.
Invincible. I loved Invincible.
It was good, and it was surprising. Like I didn't know anything about it. Went into it, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?" Like you need.
And then we had more people
Such a
saying
messed up
Arcane and
show.
Dota. Of
Yep,
course, the Warhammer series. I mean, I have to go back to. I
Loki
really
was incredible.
Loki was great. I did like Witcher until the very last episode, but
I watched the prequel like animated thing on Netflix, which gave me some like backstory for season 2 of The Witcher, which was useful. But I didn't do it on purpose. I
I'm a
just happened
I'm
to
a
see it
huge
on
Witcher
Netflix.
fan, period. Though, so
Yeah.
I played the games, I've read the books.
Vox
Oh,
Machina
oh,
is
but it came.
technically
I was gonna say
2022, okay?
2022, but it is awesome, and I'm a huge
It is
critical.
incredible.
I'm such a Critical Role fan also because I came from my humble beginnings of super role playing nerd, and I love it. I Matter of fact, I just watched last night the last 3 episodes because they keep bringing them out 3 at a time.
Every
Oh
time. You're 9 in then, same as me. Oh
yeah,
boy.
I
Oh
love
boy. No
it.
spoilers, but if you haven't already,
Oh,
it is
they're
so
ramping
good.
up
I'm
too.
laughing and crying the whole time, which
Oh,
is so funny.
I feel like they're ramping
So
up
good.
too. They're really juicing the
Yeah.
story up. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Uh, let's see. Agreed. Dude makes videos. Yeah.
Yep.
Loki was I did like Loki a ton. He's fantastic, by the way. He could just put that series on his shoulders. Tom is crazily. He's a charismatic dude. You know what I mean? He's just like rocking it out.
Yep.
In a side, have you ever seen the meme of him he's at a red carpet event, and they're saying something about, what would you like? The best part of being Loki is like, oh, if I could be Loki in real life, I could make people kneel before me. And the reporter goes, you don't have to be Loki to make me kneel. And he goes, ha ha. Oh, just like takes him a second to realize what she's saying. He goes, oh. It was just like, oh. Well, I'm gonna
It's
keep
funny.
walking on now. But man,
Yeah.
I think there was a good year of stuff
Good
coming
stuff
out.
this week. Yeah, good stuff this week. Get excited. More Eldari stuff. Make sure you stay tuned for more of the amazing like videos that we have happening on the YouTube and in the War Room every single week and every day from the Art of War team as well.
And until then, everyone, see ya.
Right.